Ireland is backing South Africa's genocide case against Israel at the International Court of Justice. The Irish Foreign Minister says the Israeli war in Gaza and the Hamas attacks in Israel last October both represent blatant violations of international humanitarian law. Now, it's 2 months since the ICJ ordered Israel to stop any acts that would violate the Genocide Convention. South Africa has accused Israel of failing to abide by that order. We have with us Al Jazeera's senior political Marwan Bishara to discuss this and more of the situation in Gaza. So Ireland is just the latest country, Marwan, to join South Africa. And then what you have over in the U.S. is the State Department spokesperson, Matthew Miller, accusing the Palestine Special Rapporteur, Francesca Albanese, of having a history of anti-Semitic comments and dismissing her findings where she says there's a reasonable reasonable grounds to believe Israel is committing genocide. I mean, the divisions couldn't be more stark amongst the U.S. and Israel's allies and perhaps the rest of the world?
That's true. But on the other hand, one can also add some value judgment in the sense that the United States officials are reacting with such desperation and personal attacks and dismissal of certain positions that are gaining currency around the world. Remember when they called the South African case that was judged plausible genocide? They called it meritless and baseless. It's the same thing here. They attack United Nations professionals. And I think it just shows how desperate and weak those pro-Israeli voices have become as the cause of justice in Palestine is gaining popularity almost exponentially around the world. The fact that Ireland is joining in with South Africa just goes a long way to tell you that the cause for justice is universalized now. A European nation joins an African nation and a whole bunch of Asian nations to say basically the genocide needs to stop in Palestine. I think that adds a lot of weight in the sense that Ireland, with its long history with occupation, repression, injustice, and so on and so forth, joining with an African nation that also had its long history with racism, oppression, and so on and so forth, really tells you how important the cause has become. But at the same time, the same country, Israel, that is repressing and occupying and killing and destroying in Palestine is weakening and ending, if you will, life as we know it in Palestine. But also, Israel, by its actions, is helping universalize the Palestinian cause.
Look, this call also by Francesca Albanese calling for an international protective presence in Gaza. I wonder whether it will sort of gain traction. Do you think it will, particularly after we saw images yet again today coming out of Gaza of the 2 unarmed Palestinians being executed, children now dying of starvation and dehydration? I mean, what do you think of this call?
Well, this is the thing, right? I memean, because you also quoted earlier, although put passively, that Israel has been accused of weaponizing hunger. Right, in Palestine. When the European Union's foreign policy chief, Josep Borrell, accuses Israel of weaponizing hunger, of using hunger as a weapon of war, leading to the death of children and others in Gaza, then that should immediately pose the question, how dare European nations sell arms to Israel? Because when we see now, over 5 months, tens of thousands of children are killed or become orphaned. Hundreds of thousands of children are displaced, and they have already been refugees. Should the world, should Europe, that pretends to hold universal values, turn its back, even finance and arm the Israeli military that is carrying those crimes in Palestine? Because these two propositions cannot work at the same time. Europe cannot claim to be standing for universal values while its countries, its nations, are arming that very particular country that its own foreign policy chief is telling us is weaponizing hunger in Palestine.
Okay, Marwan Bishara, thank you so much.